I've played a lot of seasons of Park to Prem on FM24, not just because the game's been delayed by a year, although that did lead to a second Park to Prem on the same edition, but at Rugby Town and here at Wanderers, the Champions League has always eluded me. And today we are back in the round of 16. We've lost in the quarterfinals the last 2 years. This is a step that traditionally we have been able to get over. But of course, we already played a stage in the Champions League. We beat Everton. Today we're back to take on Ajax. They have been the dominant side in the Netherlands over the last few years. I'm not going to underestimate them today. But after a rocky period for the last couple of months, if we could light up this recent fixtures with a bit more green, I'd feel pretty optimistic about our chances of going a step further than we have before. And dare I say it, maybe winning this competition finally. It's the 1st of March in game. It's episode number 86 of Wanderers FC. Let's run the intro and get straight into things. Yes, folks, how is it going? And a warm welcome back. Happy Thursday, it's Park to Prem, and we are back with your daily dose of Football Manager goodness. Appreciate you joining me today, as always, where, well, as I've already mentioned, quite a big game today against Ajax, a game that I feel like we should be winning, but I've said that the last couple of years at different points in the Champions League, and we've not always won the games that we should be winning. Now, of course, last episode we did bottle the Carabao Cup final. However, that said, we did manage to beat Newcastle in the FA Cup, so I've got a bit of a pep in my step. And having rotated things from our most recent league game against Brentford, we come straight back for another episode, feeling ready and refreshed. And so, with that in mind, we're going to get straight into the first game today. We're taking on Ajax. This is not an easy game in the round of 16 by any means. You can see, of course, Dorrington still out injured, Sheldon out for the long haul. Some good news, I suppose. Hatswell getting closer to full fitness. He could play 45 minutes if I wanted to bring him back now. Of course, he's missed a long old time with sprained ankle ligaments. A month missed, and I'll tell you what, it's been a month of a lot of football. But with him still coming back, I am going to bring Kobe Mainu into the team today. Of course, we can stack the bench full of players for the Champions League. In terms of the rest of the starting 11, am I happy with this? You know what? Last episode, Andy White got a goal from striker. I'm going to play him there today with Barrett playing as the inside forward. At the back, of course, we've lost Dorrington. Branthwaite has become the new go-to centre-back option. The 32-year-old may be showing some signs of decline. I'm not going to lie. I don't love seeing this dash line between our centre-backs, but the next best options at centre-back would be Brian Henderson, who maybe I could bring in to be fair, or Ronnie Edwards. And Ronnie's definitely not getting in the team. I mean, Brian Henderson is quite good. If Branthwaite is showing signs of decline, is Henderson the man to bring in? When you look at the head-to-head, this is a reactionary change because I've seen some dash lines. I'm going to play Henderson at left centre-back. These guys have a green link as well from when they played in a back three. And Henderson's a little bit left-footed. It kind of makes sense, right? I feel like over the course of the last few episodes especially, there's been moments where I've made pivotal decisions that have either worked or haven't worked. I may have just made another one there that's going to work one way or another. I feel like we have a good team here. Do we have a great team here? It feels like on occasion we do. I just want to find a degree of consistency. Like I said, getting a result in this kind of set of games today against Ajax would definitely do just that. Ajax are playing without a centre attack in mid, so I am going to make a change almost immediately, although I can't make the change quick enough because less than 3 minutes into this game, we're on the front foot. Phillips with the ball in the team, gives it to Mainu, goes wide to Ajaria, who's been the Mr. Assister of the team this year. Great ball to Brennan. He cuts inside, he shoots. That is a great save to tip it wide. I talked about last episode, didn't I? This need to be kind of more proactive rather than reactive. I'm going to make the change that you've seen me make on occasion a fair amount this year. I'm going to tell the players to force the play through the middle, and I'm going to move Kobe Mainu forward just a little bit. I kind of want to match up their midfield. I feel like having two defensive midfielders when they're playing with a lone striker isn't necessarily needed. We kind of saw that against Newcastle when we managed to dismantle them, and we're going to hope that can happen again here. Ajax are surging forward with players. Maybe a little warning there from Football Manager that we've got to be wary of the counter-attack. Anyway, this highlight's running on a while. Is Football Manager trolling me or is something magical about to happen? Barrett, Lloyd, Weston gives it back to Henderson, who's slotting in at left centre-back. He will be under the microscope today. And, well, hopefully he does less crazy stuff like that, because that wasn't all that convincing. And again, I feel like that was a pointless highlight, but at the same time, it was Football Manager just wanting to troll me about Henderson being in the team. 0-0, going to shout words of encouragement early on. We're at home for this opening Champions League game. I feel like pressing home, a home advantage, is the name of the game. if we can do so here. Ajax right now, I mean, I'm looking at their centre mid setup here. I'm questioning if playing the ball through the middle is maybe the best thing to do. Maybe we should look for a more balanced approach. But you know what? We'll wait and see what becomes of this, because the ball's in the middle. It's bundled over the line. I was almost expecting the flag to be raised on the near side. It's not raised. Andy White scored. Corners have not been as productive as I'd like them to be this year. This was a weird one. Phillips competed once, twice. White was there, and he had the whole goal at his mercy. Despite that goal, I am going to get rid of the play the ball through the middle instruction. And in fact, I'm going to ask the players just to play a tiny bit wider in this game. You can see they are playing with a Mazzala and an advanced playmaker, but with that half-back in who's going to drop back, I feel like maybe looking to work wider is a better idea, especially because they're playing with inverted wingbacks and inside forwards. I feel like there's maybe a little bit of space to find in those wider areas in transition. We're on the attack here. We already scored one goal from a set piece. It was very nearly another. A free header for Henderson, straight at Setford. It's 1-0 at the break. Look at the XG story. We're looking quite good at the moment. I'm going to tell the players that I'm very, very pleased. I'm actually going to change something tactically here. Because they're playing with two inverted wingbacks who cut inside when they have the ball and will sit narrower. In transition, I actually want to ask our team to hit it to the flanks. I want to try and get the ball forward long to the inside forwards. Brennan and Barrett might just find a little bit of space in those wider areas. And I am actually going to ask the players to focus the play in the wider area in this game. Lots of tinkering going on, just trying to find an edge. But you can see with the roles they've got in those wider areas, it's going to be times where they find themselves very compact. And I feel like that's maybe something we can look to exploit should they give up possession. Ajaria in the wider area is going to give up the ball to Vukt, who is their key man at centre mid. Flood, like a little terrier battling for the ball there, wins it. Barrett, Andy White is onside here. He's got a difficult angle, needs to hold it up. Does so. Brennan inside. Bernard Brennan scores his 18th of the year. It's 2-0. The inside forwards working wonders. Coming up to that hour mark, definitely the point in the game where I often look to make changes. And, well, maybe that's going to change the changes I was going to make. Brennan afforded too much space in the middle. Sits Setford down. We double our lead. Barrett's been a bit quiet in this game. To be fair, Brennan, until he'd scored, had been quiet as well. I'm going to bring in Steele in the final third. Elsewhere, do I want to make changes? I kind of do. Henderson's played well, but he's on a booking. Ajaria's played well, but he is also on a booking. The issue I've got is with Hatswell's injury, I've not really got a go-to right back. I mean, I was told Hatswell could play 45 minutes. Maybe this can be him working himself back to full fitness. We'll give him 30 minutes here. So far, so good in this game. I actually yet to have a shot on target. I'm wary of the fact that home and away advantage is just a very big and strong thing in FM. So whilst we're at home here, we need to press home our advantage if we can. We also, I suppose, need to try and keep hold of this clean sheet. Forbes dances inside, squares it. That is a goal completely against the run of play. Gouveia scores it. And it's 2-1. Gouveia there, like a semi-auto World War II rifle. Get it? Because there's the Gouveia. That's an awful joke, isn't it? He shot it into the back of the net. That is a German gun, isn't it? The Gouveia. I'm now calling back to Call of Duty World at War knowledge here, as if that's somehow representative of history. Someone's going to correct me in the comments. I don't know guns. I'm an Englishman. We're not allowed them here. But you wouldn't know it based on all the English players firing the ball into the back of the net. Branthwaite scores. Moment of brilliance in the commentary, if I might say so myself. And the 2-goal lead is reinstated. Branthwaite near post, unmarked, on off the bench. Setford sat down. I think Branthwaite was one booking away from a suspension in Europe. He has got booked on off the bench here. Jared, not exactly doing what I needed him to do there. We're 3-1 up. There's 5 minutes left. Like I mentioned, they've kind of scored against the run of play, I feel like, Ajax in this game. We've been on top for a lot of it. Could we get another? Hatswell cutting inside. Mainu, oh my word. Kobe from range fires it in and makes it 4. I've not really played Hatswell much at right back this year, but you know what? If Ajaria was to get a long-term injury, Hatswell might be the man we move in and then play Mainu from the middle like we've done here. Setford, English goalkeeper, not getting down to it. Where have you heard that one before? Well, that performance there was a real statement of intent. An emphatic win. A couple of goals late on definitely swung the game in our favour. Andy White, man of the match. Things you love to see. Ajaria and Branthwaite will be missing for that next game, so Hatswell might get another run out at right back in the next match. I suppose having won that game 4-1, maybe the second leg is a good game to miss out on. Because of course, if he'd got booked in the next game, Ajaria or Branthwaite, they would have been suspended for the quarter-final. Anyway, midweek we have got a game against relegation-threatened Blackburn. They're right down at the bottom of the table. We should be beating them convincingly. Up next, we've got Ajax. Should have mentioned it sooner. We're doing another triple header today. Bournemouth in the FA Cup to round up today's episode. So I did learn from my mistake last episode. I didn't rotate things against Blackburn. We did it against Brentford and we drew. I wasn't going to underestimate these guys. In the end, though, a 5-1 win. Nice and convincing, as you can see here. Made plenty of subs as the game went on, which sets us up nicely for this game against Ajax. 4-1 up from the first leg. This should be simple. This should be comfortable. In terms of team news here, you can see I've been resting up the players as much as possible just to try and keep them fit. Hatswell is going to slot in at right back today. Ajari is suspended. Branthwaite and Dorrington, of course, both out. Henderson at centre-back I actually quite liked alongside Phillips. I'm also keen to see how Hatswell gets on. I've just noticed here, Lloyd Weston's in at left-back. That shouldn't be that. Should be Wallace. This man's been in top form for a Slady at left-back. Let's see how he fares today. Definitely feel like the late goals in the first leg kind of swung this fixture very much in our favour. They are playing the same system as last game. As the away team, do I want to change things up? Maybe I do now. They've scored immediately. It's a corner. Van Bommel is struggling to get the ball out the back of the net. But well, he's managed to put it in without too many issues. Free header, Anson didn't get down to it. Not sure he's to blame there. So they are playing this system without the centre attacking mid. It's a bit of a risk, isn't it? Having gone a goal down early to make this change. And yet, I think I'm going to go for it. I'm going to ask for our attacking width to be that little bit wider like it was in that last game. We're going to look for the space in those wider areas too. Assuming that they're playing with similar roles to they were last game. I feel like there's plenty of joy to be had in the wider areas. Okay, well, 20 minutes played here. We've steadied the ship, perhaps. I don't know if it was a good idea today to wear a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey when we bottle games in kind of crunch, knockout, playoff deciding games. You know what? Maybe I'm just setting up the Leafs for a better run in the NHL playoffs this coming year for the Stanley Cup. That's what I'm going to choose to believe. As well, nothing is happening here. 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half comes and goes. I mean, it's 1-0. They scored from a set piece. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. If we just look at the stats for this game, it's been a very, very even game, which I suppose suits us to an extent, as long as they don't get the next goal. I feel like if they get the next goal, we could be in trouble. And while we conceded from one set piece, they're floating the ball to their back post again. We get it away not once, but twice. De Graaf, though, going to look to keep the play alive here. Zahirovic bringing it forward. I'm thinking back to when we took on Dortmund a couple of years ago and absolutely got annihilated away from home 4-0. History couldn't repeat itself, could it? In a game that you'd back us to be in kind of favourite position for, couldn't bottle it from 3 goals, could we, in this game? Surely not. It's a nice back heel. The cross, though, is blocked. Crunching tackle in. Now can we make something happen on the counter? Kobe Mainu finding that pocket of space as the centre mid on attack. On this occasion, his through ball goes awry. And this has been a very long highlight. The longer a highlight goes on, the more it feels like a goal is destined to happen. Van Bommel cuts inside. Caleb Anson, really good stop there. Corner now for them. Forbes on this near side. 11 minutes into the second half. Floats it to the back stick. Headed away once. Can Mainu deal with it? Van Bommel turns. Van Bommel shoots. Oh my word. I mean, now it's a 1-goal game. Now do I have to panic? I thought when that first save was made by Anson, that was that. I thought we were good. The ball falls to Van Bommel here, who turns around Kobe Mainu, strikes on his right foot, and finds the bottom corner. Through traffic, keeper saw it late. There really is now a risk to kind of turtle up and defend, and whilst maybe I am going to turtle up a little, I'm not going to go over defensive here. Instead, I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to mix things up just a little bit. I'm actually going to play with a defensive midfielder on support in Mick Garry. I feel like he's the kind of man who can give us that little bit of solidity we need in the team. For Flood, I'm actually going to change him now to a deep line playmaker. I know they don't have that centre attacking mid, but they have got the Mazzala, an advanced playmaker, kind of getting in behind. Still want us to try and work the ball, I think, in the wider areas, although I don't know how much space there is necessarily to exploit. Given the fact they're playing with one striker, in transition, I'm going to distribute it to the centre-backs here. There should always be 1 free. And in the final third, I'm going to make some changes. Andy White's been poor in this game. We're going to take him off. Bernard Brennan's been really, really disappointing as well. Akena in the wide area going to come on for us. Hatswell hasn't had the best game at right-back, to be honest, but the only option I have is to bring in Benito Lloyd-Weston at right-back. You know what? That is the decision I'm going to make. Hatswell's looking a little well, I was going to say lacking match sharpness. He is lacking it a little bit. He's not been at the races today. I'm making 4 changes. I'm also going to switch our mentality here to positive. But like, it's always a risk to change things up, kind of in a big knockout game, and maybe look to go more defensive, especially because you start inviting pressure on yourself. I want to see us continue to dominate the ball if we can. I say continue to dominate the ball. We've only edged out possession narrowly in this match. Ajax have been clinical with their opportunities, to be honest. They've not necessarily been by far and away the better team. I'm hoping that if we create 1 or 2 chances, one of them can find the back of the net, that free kick not far over, skim the top of the crossbar. And yeah, this is getting nervy now. You kind of look at the match momentum. I'd argue that we've maybe edged out the game ever so slightly. See, the scoreline doesn't really reflect that. The changes I've made, whilst they are maybe a little bit defensive in nature, it's more about just trying to control the ball and the possession a bit more if we can. But Ajax not allowing us to do that. They're going all the way back to Setford. Now with Kaplan on the far side. There's 18 minutes left here. I don't know if you can tell from the commentary. I'm getting nervous. This is not enjoyable. This is not fun. A 1-goal margin. I feel like, I've talked about this before, I feel like in the Champions League knockout rounds, there's like a whimsy meter that they kind of turn up to 11 in Football Manager, where you get some more kind of crazy goal swings than any other competition. Is that happening here? Hlinson gives it to Booth. Inside to Apia. He lays it wide to Coopers. Crossed in. Jensen shoots. Scores. Is that onside? It's not. The flag's raised. There was a very anxious scrolling out from me there. And this goal, I don't think is going to count here. The referee's consulting with VAR. The goal has been disallowed. Their inside forwards are just getting in behind our defenders. You know what? Lloyd Weston and Wallace fall back on defend, lads. Let's just try and see out this game. Turtling up a little bit. Set piece here for them. They've already scored one of these corners. Surely not 2 in one game. It's headed up. It falls to Yorel Hato. And this is 2 corner goals. What do you say? What do you say? I mean, I'm lost for words here. How many corners have they had in this game? They had 5 corners. We've had 5 corners as well. 2 of them have nestled in the back of the net. We're all even here, and now I'm sat thinking, oh, do I stick with what I know? And the answer is, I don't think I do. I think we go back to fullbacks on attack. I'm going to put Flood back on Regista as well. I'll keep McGarry in the team to be a bit of an anchor for us. I'm going to go back on the attacking mentality. I don't feel like we've been that bad in this game, to be honest. I feel like in a weird way, this is one of those matches where they've just scored every opportunity that's come their way. I'm going to hope that trend ceases at some point. They've had 6 shots. We've actually got the better XG in this game, and yet it's 3-0, 4-4 on aggregate. Akena's bringing it forward. Options in the middle. It's a 3-on-2 in the middle. Barrett's free, heads it over. That was a chance. It's actually wild that we're 3-0 down with a better XG. Have I got a victim complex? Maybe. We need to dig deep here. We're capable of scoring. We've created enough chances to get a goal. We just need to find a moment of brilliance. Maybe it can emerge here. Akena's there. He heads it in. He scores. It's 3-1. It's 5-4. I tried to share things up by going more defensive. I'm not touching anything now. I'm just, hands off the wheel. Hands off the dashboard. We're leaving it as it is. Gavin Wallace. Looping cross. Akena. A player who I feel like I've got some faith in. The comment section doesn't seem to gravitate towards him. He's popped up with a massive moment for us there. There's 5 minutes of added time. Akena's now over the corner. Why not another? Why not? Okay, that's why not. Ashley Phillips has tried to kung fu kick it in. It's gone over. And now with 2 minutes left, they're on the attack. Stop it, Football Manager. It hits the woodwork. They've scored the rebound. It's 5-5. What has happened here? Booth has a free kick. It hits the post and it falls straight to Kaplan. They've scored 3 set-piece goals in one game. And now there's a kickoff highlight. There's a minute 20 left. Is there to be more late drama? We've just conceded. It's 5-5. It's been a classic. 4-1 across both legs. The ball's in. Sean Steele scores. What has just happened here? What has just happened here? It's absolute drama. The away end is in Bedlam. Ajax thought they'd drawn it level to make it 5-5. Barrett had other ideas. He ran on his lonesome. Tired legs, but not a tired mind. He put it in. Steele robs it off Hato, who scored a goal earlier for Ajax. And surely that is that. 5 minutes of added time. We scrape through. And what a mental end to that game. 2 goals in the same minute. Ajax thought they were taking us to extra time. Wanderers Wanderers had other ideas. I'm going to tell the players I'm happy with that. I'm fuming that is what happened there. I mean, in terms of us bottling a 4-1 lead almost, but what a way to win it. I'll tell you what, it's a good job we're doing the Bournemouth game in 4 days. Because, you know, some people are going to think this game was going to extra time when they look at the video length. No, that late goal denied them. We get £8 million for playing in that round. We could go through 6-5 on aggregate. Sean Steele popping up with another big goal, by the way. This man just loves scoring in the Champions League. Right, I need to rest up the players again. I've got Bournemouth in 3 days' time. I've got to try and calm down. Up next is the FA Cup quarter-final. It's championship opposition. It should be simple. Nothing ever is here at Wanderers. Let's see how we get on. Now, you might be forgiven for thinking that with Arsenal up in the league in 2 days' time, I'd be rotating the team for the game against Bournemouth. But to be honest, my plan is full strength against Bournemouth, rotate against Arsenal. We'll probably lose the game against Arsenal. I'm going to put faith in the cushion that we've got being something that we can maintain, even with a defeat or two. Newcastle have drawn level on points with us. They've actually played 2 games more. Our fixture congestion is a little wild. We've got Arsenal on Monday, then we've got Crystal Palace on a Thursday, then Wolves on a Sunday. It means that in the next 8 days, we've got 4 games. But this one in the FA Cup is absolutely bloody massive. We want to win this one. We want to keep our amazing run going. In terms of team news, I'm looking to play a full strength 11 here. Yeah, I could underestimate this championship opposition, but I don't know if it's obvious yet. I keep banging the FA Cup drum. This might be the competition I want to win more than any other, just for the narrative of this save game. Also, I've just noticed here, Gavin Wallace isn't in the team. Gavin Wallace really should be saved in the best 11 over Lloyd Weston. You can see here, Lloyd Weston on a 7.0 rating for his last 5 games. Gavin Wallace might have the best average rating in the team lately. 7.54 for him. Brennan, to be fair, is on a 7.56. If you were wondering, I have just about managed to calm down after the Ajax game as we head into this one against Bournemouth. I feel like this is a game that should be comfortable by comparison, but nothing ever feels all that simple, does it? Barrett's over a free kick here. Surely one of these free kicks has to go in eventually. Not today. He's hit a bloke in a wheelchair behind the goal. I'll tell you what, whenever Barrett gets a free kick highlight, I kind of feel more worried for our fans behind the goal than their goalkeeper or the scoreline being changed, and I think that really says a lot. Good news is we've got another highlight, and it's not a free kick. It's Wallace to Banks, who squares it to Ajaria. Back in the team after serving his suspension. He hits the crossbar. Brennan free header, open goal. Keeper was on his arse. He's headed it over. Okay, Barrett, have another go. The 50 cal is loaded. He's going to fire his shot. I mean, at least that one was on target, I suppose. Corner for us here. Banks is over it on the near side. Whips it. Brennan heads it goalward. Sanders with a stop. Pressure is mounting on the Bournemouth goal in the early stages of this game. We look really good. Phillips heads just over. We're knocking on the door. There's no answer right now, but 11 shots through 25 minutes. Less than half an hour played here. This has been such a dominant game. We've had 5 shots on target, 12 total. We just need to find the back of the net with one, and maybe, just maybe, the floodgates will open. Wallace with space in behind, plays it inside. Benson loopingly clears it away. It falls to Brennan, who misses the target yet again. Sander in goal for them has been busy thus far. I assume he has the best rating in the game because he's yet to concede despite a flurry of shots on his net. Can we find a breakthrough? It feels like a case of when we'll find the breakthrough, not if we'll find it. Brennan's going forward again. Oh my word. You know what? I want to be annoyed because he's missed the target again. It would have been a banging goal if he'd scored. Barrett now has a free kick. He's going to give it short to Flood. Barrett, Flood. All the way back to Ajaria here. You know what? We've not wasted the free kick there by shooting. Maybe I should be glad. Ajaria, what a run this is. Floats it. Henderson, back post header. He stayed up from the initial free kick, the centre-back, unmarked to the far post, and he puts him to the sword. I'll tell you what, it's another Tammy Ajaria classic, isn't it? I'm going to campaign for this guy to feature in the England squad at some point in this save game. The right back, the captain, turns provider again. Having broke the deadlock, I would really like to get a second goal before the half-time whistle goes. It's been one-way traffic. Wallace has won it nicely here. Hatswell, a bit of a loose touch there. Ajaria was looking to get in on the overlap, and now behind him, there might be a little bit of space for them to exploit. Lowell plays it to Mata. Shot off target. I'll tell you what, he was onside. That would have counted. That effort there, by the way, was Bournemouth's first shot on goal of the entire game. It's been an absolutely dominant half. Not really showing up on the scoreline yet. This is the kind of game where if we could get maybe 2-3 goals ahead, I would look to rotate things around. Maybe there's an opportunity for a breakthrough here. Near post corner. Ashley Phillips is there. There is a offside VAR review happening. I guess whoever was in front of the goalkeeper could have been offside and deemed to be interfering. Is the goal going to count? The answer's no. The celebrations are short-lived. Thought Banks was going to add another assist to the scrapbook here. Who was this stood offside? Is that Brennan? It looks like it's... I love the fact I know who Brennan is in the match engine because he's just massive. I mean, it's been a very controlling performance this game. You look at the XG, you'd expect the scoreline to be greater than 1-0. On the one hand, I feel like I should be making changes to rest players because we are so dominant. On the other, there's part of me feeling like if I make changes here, am I inviting a goal onto us? I'm going to make changes regardless. Akena's going to come in. I'm going to keep Brennan off, I think, and take off Barrett. Elsewhere, Steele's going to go up top for us. McHugh, I'm going to bring in for Banks. That's actually a change I've made fairly often in games off camera. You can see here, there are many different roles and positions that McHugh has had to play for us. At Shadow Striker, 3 goals in 2 appearances. Would be nice if he could bag another one here. Barrett, before he can be subbed off, is going to take a free kick. It hits the woodwork. It hits the keeper on the back. That will be the last bit of action that we see Barrett to take part in. And somehow we've still not scored. Look at the heat map, by the way. Can you tell that Ajari is the main man for us? Look at that. There's a bloody sun on the heat map in the bottom corner. Can we find the breakthrough now? And by breakthrough, I mean the second goal. Because it feels like we've been knocking on the door. Brennan's there to score. Sean Steele gets the assist. Brennan, 20 goals for the season. It's another corner. On this occasion, it wasn't dealt with defensively. Lowell headed it away. Steele kept it alive. And this was a really nice ball just into a dangerous area. Brennan at the near post pips in front of the goalkeeper, cuts the queue. Not very English of him to cut the queue there, but a nice little finish. Wallace again, I'll tell you what, Bournemouth are going to be seeing corners in their sleep. Bournemouth fans are throwing out their Muller corners out their fridges when they get home from this game. They've had enough of the corners. Then again, maybe they can actually create something from this one here. Mata to Lowell. Nordval for them. If they get one back, do I have to panic? Hussey's in behind. He hits the woodwork. That's just a little reminder. This game isn't done yet. They've had 2 shots. They've both been shown as highlights. And despite this, this has been one of the most one-sided games I think we've had all season. 29 shots. There's only 7 minutes left of this game. Veenstra for them, trying to play the ball forward. The centre-back looks so isolated there, but having beaten the initial press, there was a little bit of space in behind. Unfortunately, it's not worked out for them at that time of asking, but a wayward pass from Ajaria maybe is only going to give us a short reprieve from the pressure. Tobias bringing it forward. Options in the middle to aim for. Near post. Phillips reads it well. They're not short of players committed to the attack here. And in fact, they've won the ball in a dangerous area. Kasongo now bringing it forward. They get 1 goal back. I start to panic. McHugh, nice little tackle by him. And now, with them on the offensive, surely a counter-attack is on Brennan. Little bit of space. Staying onside nicely. Steele picks him out. Back to Hatswell. McHugh in behind scores. He's offside. It was really nicely worked, but it's not going to count. Goal disallowed. It was a giveaway, really, by the assistant that he raised his flag here. Was it close? I'll tell you what, it is close. It would have been such a nice counter-attack too. 5 minutes at the end of this game, going to come and go. 2-0. The scoreline doesn't really reflect how dominant that performance was. Nice result, lads. Now we've got to prep ourselves for Arsenal in 2 days. Annoyingly for us, Newcastle won in their game against Fulham. 3-1 win for them there, so they keep the gap close to us at the top. As for ourselves, though, we have to be happy. We're into the FA Cup semi-final. We navigated a precarious, shall we say, game in the Champions League too. And with that, we find ourselves now in, well, 3 competitions to end the year when we could have ended today's episode in 1. And that would have been the Premier League. Now, looking ahead to next episode, the Champions League is looming on the horizon. That is coming our way at the start of April. I think we know what we're going to be back for next time. Thank you so much for the support on the series, as always, guys. Really hope you enjoyed the video today. Another triple header. For those of you that love matches, hopefully it was exactly what you needed. We're back tomorrow to end the week. I'll see you guys for that one next time. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you in a bit. I'm out.